time to hit the road. Keep left, and then turn left. Turn left. It's all over now.
Monday, this weekend and Monday. So we're going to start with Glenn Johnson in Colorado. So the guys who have a music for the car or anything that normal. So that the Volvo VNL is going to be through that. So there's its burners for the outbound that
Ready to roll.
they said a calorie great thing. So
Rerouting.
with that, so I hope you enjoy the ride. Because it's all done, and let's go right through it.
Go straight on. Keep right, and then turn right. Turn right. Get ready to turn right. Turn right. Recomputing. Please, make a U-turn when possible. Never mind, I'll find a new route. Turn left, and then turn right. Turn right. Keep right, and then exit right. Exit right. Keep right, and then turn right. Turn right. Keep left, and then turn left. Turn left. Go straight on. You have arrived at your destination. Your route guidance is now finished. Exit now. Keep right, and then exit right. Exit right. Keep right, and then turn right. Turn right. Go straight on. Keep left, and then turn left. Turn left. Go straight on. Here we are, safe and sound. Drive safe. Reroute.
And so Blue Ocean Shift is all about, what works, what doesn't, how do you bring your
Turn
people
right.
along, What are the key challenges they ask? And how do you address those challenges in a way that can create some level of intellectual satisfaction so they're willing at least to take the next step in that journey with you?
You know, we've had in the past founders, and I have a lot of respect for this perspective, who say, I'm building a 100-year brand. I want to build the next GE. I want to build the next Nike, whatever it might be. But we've also had some founders who I think have been brutally honest and have said, look, it's not that important to me to build an enduring brand. If I can create enormous value in 5 or 6 years, that's pretty good too.
I think both are great, and you need both. I think the question is, what kind of value are they talking about? You know, value innovation, Blue Ocean strategy is about unlocking a leap in value for the marketplace.
Go straight on.
But you know what? Horses for courses, right? Everyone doesn't have to follow the same perspective. But what I would say is, if I'm looking to build a 100-year brand and I'm
Keep
that
left,
company,
and then
or
exit
I
left.
want to create a brand where I not only create financial success for myself, for my workers, for my life, but I want to create that same brand that also creates
Exit
tremendous
left.
value for society, for my customers. I think no matter which company you're in, you're going to want to start thinking, you know, what is the quantum leap in value I'm able to deliver? And is it based on a price point that the target mass of buyers that I am looking at can afford, so they not only aspire for what I'm offering, but are actually able to realize that aspiration and purchase it?
All right, so let's transition into your latest book, because it's about an area that and a topic that we hear about a lot. And some companies on this show have been disruptors. You mentioned Liquid Death and Harry's and others. Your new book, your latest book, is called Beyond Disruption, and essentially you're arguing that the disruption approach may not be the best approach. I mean, this is one of the biggest brands and companies over the last 20 years of disruptors. Netflix, Airbnb, Amazon. I mean, these are companies that had huge disruptive impact on those areas. I mean, Amazon put lots of booksellers out of work and business, and Netflix certainly had an impact on movie theaters. But they've also brought incredible value to consumers as well. So tell me a little bit more about the thinking around disruption, and in your view, it's problematic.
Keep right,
So
and then exit
actually,
right.
our view is that disruption, and what we talk about beyond disruption, and we have this idea called non-disruptive
Exit
creation or non-disruptive innovation, when you create a new market beyond the bounds of an industry, so there's nothing to displace. Our assertion
Turn
is
right.
not that that is superior and there's something wrong with disruption. We're making the point that the entire field of innovation is really overridingly in the last number of years focused on how do I disrupt. The second I set to disrupt, I take aim at the existing industry with an aim to take it down, whether in full or in part. That's important. And when industries are ineffective, inefficient, induce moral hazard, hurt the environment, those industries, it's beneficial to society to disrupt. But what we started to find out in our research, we saw, yes, some cases of opening a blue ocean are disruptive. Blue Ocean strategy, a lot of our examples are about looking across. So Cirque du Soleil takes some of circus, some of theater, opera, and ballet, and then creates a market within. But then we saw that there were a number of markets that were created with actually no displacement at all. And what we're saying is you can broaden your horizon to not only look at disruption, but look at these non-disruptive opportunities as well. So that is really the aim. It's not to take disruption down, but to open up this other part, the other end of the
Go straight
innovation
on.
spectrum, and say, let's not forget about motorsports, multi-billion-dollar industry that was created, that's non-disruptive. When you change the
Goes straight
lens
on.
and the way you think and the questions that you ask, you can often start to see opportunities right in front of you. No one would have believed there could be an opportunity in water. No one would believe in razors, but they are both. So yes, aging is definitely one area. Environment is another area. The migration of people, the way they're moving is another area. There's a lot of these big blocks that you definitely want to look at. But, you can also just lean into your own experiences. So, different ideas of what you could offer.
What are the questions that one should ask oneself when considering this?
I think the thing you want to do as an entrepreneur is really lean into your experience. Just, emphatically observing. You notice things that don't seem to work. Instead of just, rolling your eyes and telling your friend and going forward, just start thinking, what is it that I'm observing that doesn't seem to be working? Take a notebook with you and start writing things down. Just a little pad, and just like this bothered me about this, or this is what I directly experienced. I think a lot of people, when they experience things that don't work, they don't like, life is this, and it's a quick complaint. Gosh, to do all that research, we don't have funding, that kind of time. But they never lean into and ask why, and how could I change that? But what I would say is most of the companies that create blue oceans, they never outsource their eyes. The power of directly observing, directly having conversations. Interesting, when you tell people to do that, they're often afraid, and they really shouldn't. Go and observe, meet, talk, and see, and use your products and services.
Renee, if the last 20 years...
Go straight on.
Or more, but let's say the last 20 years has been the story of disruptive creation, how do you see non-disruptive
Get ready to turn
creation
left.
playing out in the coming decades?
So, I can't predict the future, and I want to believe the past decade was not only disruption, but also largely creating blue oceans that weren't
Turn
disruptive. Of course, technology is a means to an end. It's not an end in itself. And the question is, what are we going to use that technology to create? As long as we're using technology, AI, and we direct it at productivity, which is important, and while there may be new jobs created in the medium to long term, usually disruption in the short to medium term starts to let even more people go. So there's a lot of anxiety in companies today. What does this mean for me? I keep hearing about AI. I like it, but I'm afraid whether they voice it or not, it's almost in every industry. And so then the question becomes, though, how can we apply some of these new technologies to non-disruptive opportunities so that we can start to leverage them to not only create productivity, but as a society, we need to be creating new
straight
jobs
on.
as well.
Yeah.
I don't have the answer to that future, but I do think for societies to have a good balance between economic growth and people, I think it's a question worth asking.
Renee, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's economics professor and author Renee Maubourne. This episode was produced by Carrie Thompson with editing by John Isabella and research help from Sam Paulson. Our music was composed by Ramtin Arablouei. Our audio engineer was Neil Rauch. Our production team at How I Built This includes Alex Chung, Carla Estevez, Casey Herman, Chris Massini, Catherine Seifer, JC Howard, Malia Agadello, and Eva Grant. I'm Guy Raz, and you've been listening to How I Built This. And thanks so much for listening to the show this week. You've just heard an excerpt, and if you want to hear the full episode of How I Built This, you can find the
Go
show
straight
wherever
on,
you listen
and
to
then
podcasts.
turn left.
This hour of Planet Money and How I Built This was produced by Carla Estevez. I'm Guy Raz, and you've been listening to How I Built This.
Turn left.
Support for NPR comes from the station and from Betterment, an automated investing platform that strives to make it easy to be invested for the long term. Learn more at betterment.com. Investing involves risk. From Workday, with AI at the core of its platform, Workday is committed to delivering continuous innovation to help teams stay agile. Workday, the finance and HR platform for a changing world. And from the William T. Grant Foundation, supporting research to improve the lives of young people at WTGrantFDN.org.
Support comes from Comcast Business, security solutions and round-the-clock support. Powering possibilities, restrictions, supply. ComcastBusiness.com and Smart Financial Center in Sugarland with Celtic Woman's 20th Anniversary Tour, fusing traditional Irish music and songcraft to celebrate Ireland's ancient heritage. Monday, April 29th. Tickets at smartfinancialcenter.net. There's a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms today, mainly after 1 o'clock. Otherwise cloudy with a high near 81 degrees. You can expect to see more thunderstorms tonight, mainly before 4 a.m. late tonight and into tomorrow morning. It's going to be cloudy with a low around 59 degrees. There's still a slight chance of thunderstorms tomorrow and sunny skies back again by Monday with cooler temperatures, highs only in the lower 70s. It's currently 76 and overcast here at the University of Houston. 45 north going southbound after Parramatta Lane has a heavy truck accident. This is your NPR station, KUHF Houston News 88.7, a service of the University of Houston.
Support comes from Specs Wine, Spirits, and Finer Foods. Texas family-owned and operated since 1962, offering a large selection of wines, spirits, and beers to choose from. Details at specsonline.com. The fun starts here. Support comes from Performing Arts Houston, presenting Peter Sagal, an evening with the host of NPR's Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, with stories from his time on air and commentary on current events. May 3rd at the Wortham's Cullen Theater. Tickets at performingartshouston.org.
Support also comes from Galveston Historic Foundation, presenting the 50th Annual Historic Homes Tour. The architectural history is shown through tours of private residences and special events. The first 2 weekends of May, galvestonhistory.org. And the Houston Ballet, presenting Meyerling, a harrowing descent into the depths of eternal love. Meyerling makes its debut at the Wortham Theater from May 23rd to June 2nd. Tickets are available at houstonballet.org.
News in Washington, I'm Giles Snyder. The House appears to be on the brink of approving foreign aid for Ukraine and Israel. After months of delays, House Speaker Mike Johnson has set up a series of 3 votes today on separate aid packages, as despite threats from a few hardliners in his caucus to remove him, Johnson relied on Democrats to advance the bills. The Senate has renewed the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, which had been set to expire last night. The controversial law grants the government broad powers to conduct certain warrantless surveillance of Americans as part of anti-terrorism efforts. It now goes to President Biden, who says he will sign it. NPR's Susan Davis has more.
It's estimated that 60% of the president's daily briefing comes from intelligence obtained under the controversial 702 provision in this long-standing surveillance law. A coalition of liberal and conservative lawmakers and civil liberties groups tried and failed to reform Section 702 to make it harder for the government to obtain cell phone and internet data on American citizens without a warrant. The Biden administration opposed any such changes, as did top leaders in both parties in Congress, arguing that the authority is critical to national security. They did concede to an extension of 2 years, down from 5. When he was president, presumptive GOP nominee Donald Trump reauthorized FISA. Now he opposes it. Susan Davis, NPR News, Washington.
To Tennessee now, where law enforcement officials are now required to report to federal immigration authorities when they come across an unauthorized migrant. From station WPLN, Blaze Gainey says the new law has sparked worries about the impact it could have on families.
Tennessee is now requiring police to contact U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement when they come across a person not lawfully allowed in the country. Joanna Maldonado, a child of immigrants who was raised in Nashville, says the bill could lead to families being separated.
God forbid, should anyone be deported, those kids, where are they going to stay? Those kids will be either sent to the state, or they will have to literally pack up their bags and go back to their parents' home country, a place they don't even know.
Texas and Oklahoma are attempting to implement bills that would allow police to arrest people who they believe crossed the border without legal immigration status. For NPR News, I'm Blaze Gainey in Nashville.
Overseas, a court in Sicily has ruled the crew members of a rescue boat operated by a not-for-profit organization are not guilty of supporting illegal migration. March reports the Italian government had charged them over their rescue work.
The Juventa rescue ship had helped save thousands of people in the Mediterranean during dangerous boat crossings from countries like Libya and Tunisia. Accusations against its crew were first settled in 2017, but prosecutors unexpectedly dropped the charges in February. Campaigners said the case was an effort by right-wing government ministers to criminalize
Medical Discovery News. I'm Dr. David Niesel.
And I'm Dr. Norbert Herzog. So far, 40 states have legalized marijuana for medical purposes, while 24 states and the District of Columbia have also legalized its recreational use.
But recent reports show up to 1/3 of cannabis users get cannabis use disorder, or CAN-UD. That's cannabis addiction, or using cannabis in a way that damages their health.
Now a study looked at 1 million genomes and found regions of our DNA that appeared to be linked to cannabis addiction and even schizophrenia and lung cancer.
Researchers use large medical data sets that include U.S. veterans, mostly people of European descent, but also some African, East Asian, and mixed ancestries.
The genes involved in the disorder were in regions close to the brain's reward system involved in addiction. The same areas are linked to cigarette smoking, substance abuse, post-traumatic stress disorder, and lung cancer.
The study also affirmed a stronger link between CAN-UD and schizophrenia. The data suggests that cannabis use is the most preventable risk factor for the development of schizophrenia.
Yet a national survey on drug use and health revealed that cannabis use jumped to 17% from 11% in 2022 and growing.
It serves as a warning that just like food, drugs and chemicals we ingest or are exposed to affect our health. People must understand the consequences before deciding to imbibe.
We are Drs. David Niesel and Norbert Herzog at UTMB and Quinnipiac University, where biomedical discoveries shape the future of medicine. For much more and our disclaimer, go to medicaldiscoverynews.com or subscribe to our podcast. Sign up for expanded print episodes at illuminasycom.com.
The following program was taped before an audience of no one.
From NPR and WBEZ Chicago, this is Wait, Don't Tell Me, the NPR News Quiz. I'm the one Bill you're glad to get in the mail, Bill Curtis. And here's your host, Peter Sagal.
Thank you, Bill. As all of you out there have figured out by now, this is pledge time in public radio. And that's when we usually play our best material from the last couple of years of our show in order to convince you to donate. But this is a special pledge edition. Wait, don't tell me, because this time we are playing material from the whole 25-year history of our show.
Get out the shovels and picks, friends. We're digging back to the Cretaceous.
Well, not that far, but it is true. We have been around for a while, and we have talked to some remarkable people, and it's all because of your support.
We've been here for 5 presidential administrations and have been able to talk to 2 of those presidents, one before he took office.
Go straight on.
One after.
Barack Obama, for some reason, decided to spend his 44th birthday, August 4th, 2005, with us in our home theater in Chicago. Now, he was just a U.S. Senator then, and as he reminded us, the most junior one. Senator Obama, it has been an amazing, shall we say, 18 months for you, in which you rose from relative obscurity as a state senator here in Illinois to, shall we say, the Elvis of the political world.
I thought you were going to say to 99th in seniority in the United States Senate, which is where I rank.
Really?
Yeah. When I walked in the first day, they handed me a bunch of pencils to show.
Well, that was one of my first questions, which is because I'm just wondering what the Senate is like. I mean, do you get to, only you can have the navy bean soup, and you get to ride the train beneath the Capitol as much as you want?
Well, the train is fun. I recommend the train, which is one of the bigger thrills in the Capitol. There is a sense of awe and grandeur when you walk into the Senate building.
99th. Whose 100th? And what's the main stuff?
Who's that poor schmuck?
Go straight on.
Actually, that is my colleague Ken Salazar. And we came in. Ken's wonderful from Colorado. We got a Coloradan in the audience. And
Mrs. Salazar, thank you for coming. I think the only thing worse than being 100th would be having your mom come out to see Mr. 99. Some ruffled feathers in the Salazar home tonight.
Oh no, we trade off.
Go straight
my
on,
wife goes
and
to
then
Ken's
keep
events
right.
just to make sure we're always covered. The
Keep
reason he
right,
ranks
and then
beneath
turn
me is
right.
because Illinois is a larger state than Colorado, so thank you, Illinois. There you go. That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
Now, you may have expected just softball questions, but no, sir. No, sir.
Keep
We're going to
left.
take you up in some of your positions. For example, you delivered a speech here in Illinois recently, in which you came out at four square, and somewhat, I think, provocatively, against 8th grade graduations.
All right.
Sir, my 8th grade graduation was the high point of my life.
Well, I'll tell you what.
So what's the problem with 8th grade graduation?
We're trying to prevent young people taking your career path. We want them to do something with their lives.
I didn't know you made such a speech, but I am all over that. I love you. My daughter had a 5th grade graduation, and they had balloons that said class of 2005.
That's my point. You know, I said at the speech, I said, guys, it's 8th grade.
Yeah.
You know, you shouldn't have the cap and gown. You give them a handshake, send them to high school, get your butt down and study.
Did you get any flack for that? Did you get any,
No, but how dare? No, I think the parents
Keep
are trying
right,
to figure out why
and
are we
then
doing
turn
this.
right.
You know, you got the balloons and you got the flowers, the robes, and then you got to
Turn
sit
right.
through somebody like me making some long speech.
Wait a minute.
Or worse yet, the 8th grader valedictorian making the speech, and now we go on.
Wait a minute, hold on. Are you?
Where are they going?
Yeah.
They're going to the Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
That's it.
Go straight on.
When our show began back in 1998, Bill Clinton was president, and it was just 2 weeks after our debut that the world first heard the name Monica Lewinsky.
We were, of course, restrained and dignified in our commentary. Did I sell that? I can add some more sincerity.
Well, it's okay, Bill, because as it turns out, it didn't matter because the president never heard it. Very excited to have you, sir. I have to ask, first of all, have you ever actually heard our show?
No.
Good. That is so totally the answer I wanted.
To be honest.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just want you to know that we've treated you with the utmost respect on the. Really, just.
So you hope I enjoyed it while it lasted.
I do. No. Just trust me on that. Well, I'm curious about your life these days. Can I ask you in general, what is more fun, being president or being ex-president?
I guess in terms of raw fun, I've never had any more fun in my life. I love this, but I love being president too. Even the bad days are good. And when you're president, you have more power to help more people, but you also are the prisoner of circumstances as well, and countervailing political forces more.
Right.
When you're a former president, you have much less power, but you have a lifetime of experience and contacts, and if you got the energy, you can bring influence to bear on a small but still fairly substantial number of things where you can concentrate on it because you don't have to change the subject when you wake up in the morning and there's something else in the newspaper.
I've noticed you haven't mentioned the advantages of having an army, though, because I'm sure you see some problem. Yeah, an army.
An army, a movie theater, a weekend retreat.
Yeah.
A helicopter, a jet airplane, and they always play a song when you walk in the room. Very good. The worst thing about not being president anymore is I was disoriented for 3 weeks because nobody ever played a song when I walked in.
Really?
I knew where I was.
Mrs. Clinton didn't just hum something for you just to ease the transition?
But by the time I left office, she was a senator. been as her spouse for the last decade. I like it that way.
Go straight on.
You're flying all over the world with the Clinton Global Initiative. She's flying all over the world as a Secretary of State. I only imagine that when you guys want to have a date night, it must involve a week of staff work.
No, but that's not so bad. What we try to do is to be home on the weekends.
Do you guys Skype?
Do we what? No.
Skype?
You don't like text to each other.
No, but that's not quite true. We send texts when she's overseas or I'm overseas.
Yeah. That's so cute to imagine you like
BBMing each other.
Yeah, that's right.
Now that I said that, I can't wait for somebody to pull them up.
Yeah, I know. It's a record.
It'll be boring, but endearing.
There's a lot of things you can do with your excess cash. You can buy a new houseplant or a boba tea, but where else can you convert your hard-earned money into a former president of the United States answering the dumbest questions possible? If you want to keep the magic happening for another quarter century, well, here's how.
That number is 888-909-0887, or visit our website, houstonpublicmedia.org/donate. Thanks for listening to News 88.7. I'm Christoph Ratliff, Member Relations Specialist. This is Camille.
Hey.
If you listen and rely on this station for your favorite programming, this is a great time to become a first-time supporter of Houston Public Media. Your gift will help keep shows like Wait, Don't Tell Me available for the community every weekend. Because there's a special dollar-for-dollar match in effect the entire weekend, you can visit houstonpublicmedia.org right now to double your impact. Here's Camille Nelson with more of why your gifts are so important.
Hello, everyone. I am a huge public radio nerd, and one of my favorite programs is Wait, Don't Tell Me. When I talk to my friends about NPR, they think about the comprehensive, fact-based news that NPR and Houston Public Media are known for. But that's not all we offer. We also offer shows like Wait, Don't Tell Me, hosted by Peter Sagal. Wait, Don't Tell Me is one of the most popular shows in the country. It and all of our programming is powered by our members. So if you're a fan of Wait, Don't Tell Me, support this work by making a gift today. Become a new member today, and we will welcome you too to the Public Radio Nerd family. Make your donation at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
And the phone number to call is 888-909-0887. Again, that's 888-909-0887. Public media is truly powered by you, and today is a great day to join the Houston Public Media community. Right now, your gift of $100 is worth $200 to Houston Public Media, and a $500 contribution is worth $1,000. That's because every dollar you give is being matched by a special group of our Studio Society members. It's really important that we hear from you now. It only takes 3 minutes of your time to give online at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate, or you can call or text 888-909-0887. Again, that's 888-909-0887.
And when you give today, select Moth tickets as your thank you gift. If you've never been to the Moth at Warehouse Live, I highly recommend it. Imagine 500 people in the theater listening to the personal stories of other Houstonians. Everything from love to heartbreak to taking a chance on a business
1996 when, like you say, you were being condemned by everybody, including the president, of like looking in the camera and saying, someday, America, I'm going to star in your favorite primetime drama.
Keep right, and then continue straight on.
I know, man.
Go straight on.
Let's go back to the beginning. Let's talk about the beginning of your musical career. You grew up in Southern California. Where did you start performing? How did you get into that?
I went to Crenshaw High School. After that, I went in the Army. I did 4 years in the military. And when I came out of the military, I got it right into trouble.
Yeah.
You know, I was out in the streets doing everything. I mean, I robbed banks. I did all kinds of things. And, you know, the music business, the rap music business was just starting. And I would go to clubs, and after I would go out and do whatever I was doing, I would go in the clubs and I would rhyme just to get attention. And I started to kind of mix in some of the facts of the life that I was living with the music, and we created a genre which they call gangster rap.
I'm sorry, I mean, maybe it's just me, but I'm just kind of amazed at the idea. Well, I was robbing banks, and that didn't get me enough attention, so I decided to make up rhymes. And it worked, you know.
Well, you don't want to, I got news for you. You don't want to get attention when you're
I guess not. You want to sneak around. I'm sorry, this is why I'd be really bad at living your life. You don't want to do that. So it's amazing, though. I mean, I want to talk to you about your acting career. One of the things that everybody's noticed is you take you got Ludacris, you got Mos Def, you got Common, you got Andre Benjamin. All you guys are doing really well as actors in movies and TV. You compare it to, let's just say, Britney Spears in the movie Crossroads. It seems as if you guys... No, well, very favorable, because you guys are really good actors. And is there something about hip-hop that lends itself to acting?
I think to act, you have to be real. You have to be willing to zero yourself out and become the character. And I think, you know, also you're dealing with cats that come from a background with no opportunity. So when you give us an opportunity, we really apply ourselves.
Now, you're working on a documentary about hip-hop, about rap music?
Yeah, my first film that I'm ever going to direct is called The Art of Rap. I'm going into the inside of the rappers' heads and let people know how we actually do it. It's not about the cars, it's not about the girls, it's not about the lifestyle. It's about the actual craft of how rappers do it.
Do you think that, I mean, I don't know if you've ever done this before, but have you ever considered having like an Ice Rap Summit? You, Ice Cube, Vanilla Ice?
Yeah, Vanilla Ice, he's a funny guy.
Do you know Vanilla Ice?
Yeah, I met Vanilla Ice. I met Vanilla Ice later on in his career, once now that he doesn't want to be called Vanilla Ice. And he was actually a really cool dude.
Right.
You know? So I think back in the day, we didn't really dig it because one of his mistakes was he came into the rap business saying he was from the street. And we were like, what street? Sesame Street? You know? But that was a mistake. He didn't have to say that. All he had to do was say, hey, I'm a white kid. I'm trying to rap. And I want to be accepted. You don't have to lie and say you're from someplace you're not, you know?
Well, wait a minute. When you say the street, everybody's from A Street.
Everybody's from our street. But when you say the street, that means you probably had to live off of being in the street. You might have had to survive on the street.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up on a street called Cinnamon Tree Lane. I don't think that gets me. I don't think, next to Vanilla Ice, in fact. He was my neighbor. He was very nice.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I don't think I'm going to try to get any rap. We talked to another founding father of rap in 2016, Ice Cube, who had recently produced a movie about the rise of his own group, NWA.
We asked Ice Cube about being bused from South Central LA to the suburban community of Woodland Hills.
I liked it because I was being bused with a lot of my homies, so we was like all going out there. And then it was a lot of different neighborhoods, so it was like buses from all these different neighborhoods, all converging on this white school. And it was kind of cool because we had a chance to see different things, different people, have different conversations, hear different music, and just get a chance to see that the world was bigger than Compton, South Central, or
Go straight
whatever,
on.
you know. So we had a chance to really kind of open our horizons, getting on that bus.
And all of your songs, especially in the early days, were all about life in the streets in South Central. Did you ever think about writing about life in the streets of Woodland Hills, like not getting your date to the prom, that sort of thing?
Nah, you know, it was like, it was already corny groups doing
can ask you about this film all day, but the one thing that I'm amazed at is in the film, you, Ice Cube, are played by your own son.
Yeah.
Which is, A, he's brilliant. I mean, it's a great performance.
Thank you.
B, he looks like you, which is weird.
Yep.
And
he is mine.
Yeah, well, that's very clear. You have nothing to worry about, sir. He's obviously your son.
Yeah.
How weird was it for you? You are a producer on the film. You are like, let's take that hotel party, which is the most amazing rock and roll hotel party scene I've ever seen.
Turn right.
And you're saying to your son, okay, this is what I did then. Was that ever weird?
Nah,
Turn
I was
right.
like, man, grab them.
You were fine with it. Did your son ever go like, Dad, you did not really do that? And you're like, yes, I did.
Only thing he asked me.
Turn left.
That he was shocked.
Yeah.
He said, why did y'all take so many guns on tour?
Ah.
You know, that's all he wanted to know. Why did we take so many guns on tour? Because I said, we came from a gang-bang-infested neighborhood. And then they was talking about, yeah, man, you got a show in Alabama. Man, you got a show in Tennessee. And we was like, yo, we need to take guns, man. We don't know what's going on out there.
In March of 2020, we got to talk to Big Boy, half of the greatest hip-hop duo ever to come out of Atlanta, Outkast. But Peter was more interested in his hobbies.
I wanted to ask you about some of your hobbies. You are an animal lover.
Yes, sir.
I heard that you once had a shark?
Yes, absolutely. What? I had a nurse shark. His name was Billy Ocean.
Yeah.
It was real fun times, man. I got like a 500-gallon tank.
Yeah.
And I had stingrays and groupers and things like that. And I've been breeding dogs now with my brother for over 25 years. We breed French bulldogs.
All right. I have so many questions. All right. So you had a shark. Was it fun having a shark for a pet?
Yes. It was a lot of fun. Like I would buy hand-sized goldfish and watch them hunt. And
wait a minute. What did you feed him?
Hand-sized goldfish.
Hand-sized goldfish, the big goldfish.
Yeah.
Did you put the goldfish on like a trap door above the shark tank, and when they displeased you pushed a lever and they fell into the shark tank?
Something like that. I just dropped them out of a bag and it was just all hell broke loose.
So then, and I also found out that you, as you say, you've been a breeder of French bulldogs. Do you show your dogs?
Sometimes. My brother does. My brother runs the whole operation. I got like a 40-acre ranch out by Six Flags out here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Indoor-outdoor facility. I like to call it the Ritz-Carlton for dogs.
Why French bulldogs of all breeds?
Because they look like teddy bears and they're the cutest things. We do those. We do the pit bull terriers as well.
Now, and then finally, you got into owls of all things. How did that happen?
I always was fascinated with owls. I mean, just, the mysteriousness of them. And there's a wildlife guy that's a good friend of mine. He was like, hey, I can get you an owl, And I was like, really? So about a year and a half ago, I got 2 Eurasian eagle owls from upstate New York. And they're like the coolest animals ever. Like they would perch for hours. You could sit them in the living room and they'll sit there all day. You just got to watch them around the puppies.
Oh, really? Do they go for the puppies?
And then
they try to chase them a little bit sometimes, but we kind of keep them separated.
Yeah.
Turn right.
Do you ever bring them into the studio with you when you're working?
Yes. I bring them every couple of months. If I'm working on something, I let them sit on the credenza for a little while, while I'm writing or something like that. And then
here's Big Boy, giant of hip hop, who composes his raps while his owl is on the credenza.
Yeah, the true meaning of hoodoo.
So somewhere out there right now, some kid is inventing an art form that is eventually going to change the world, and you want us there to interview her, don't you? If that's important to you, then please donate to keep this show and this station going. Here's how.
Visit our website at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call or text 888-909-0887. This is News 88.7. Thank you for listening. I'm Christoph Ratliff, Member Relations Specialist. We're here today to ask you to give during our spring campaign because this station is community funded. This means our programs are made possible by our listeners who fund them all year round. Your gift will help keep shows like Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, Morning Edition, All Things Considered, Houston Matters on the Houston Airways. It only takes 3 minutes of your time to make a difference. It's the weekend dollar-for-dollar match, and your contribution will be worth double from a special group of our Studio Society members. Today is Moth Day. Make sure to choose Moth tickets as your thank you gift. Call or text 888-909-0887 or visit houstonpublicmedia.org/donate to give and double your impact. With me today is Member Relations Specialist Camille Nelson.
Thanks, Christoph. Public media brings together everyone from all walks of life. Representation is so important, and public media is a place for connection. That's why we feature voices from everyone in the community. Think about how many times you've started a sentence with, "I heard this story on NPR," and how that started a good conversation. Be a part of our Houston Public Media community by becoming a member today. When you give online at houstonpublicmedia.org, your donation will be matched. Christoph, do you have some deets on the matching challenge?
I do. We love matches at Houston Public Media. There's a chance for you to double the impact of your gift right now. It's the weekend dollar-for-dollar match. A special group of our Studio Society members have posted a dollar-for-dollar match to inspire you into joining them in supporting our vital community service. Here's how it works. You give a gift in any amount, they will match it. So, $60 becomes $120. $100 becomes $200. $1,200 Studio Society level becomes $2,400. All you have to do is call or text or give online at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate to make the difference. It's easy.
If you normally wait for matching challenges during our campaigns, don't sleep on this one. It is only in effect this weekend. Visit houstonpublicmedia.org/donate and click on the donate button. When you select Moth tickets, you'll be able to see the Moth at Warehouse Live for an unforgettable experience. You can even get on stage and tell your personal stories in front of hundreds of Houstonians. Sounds like a great way to spend an evening once a month. Call or text 888-909-0887 or visit houstonpublicmedia.org/donate and have your gift matched dollar for dollar. And of course, thank you.
From NPR and WBEZ Chicago, this is Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, the NPR News Quiz. I'm Bill Curtis, and here is your host, Peter Sagal.
Thank you, Bill. So this week, yes, we are asking you to donate money, and as an incentive, we are asking you to consider the whole 25 years that our show has been on the air. But if that number isn't impressive enough, over the years, we have featured over 100 different panelists.
Best part, we get to deduct every one of them as a dependent on our taxes.
So we asked some of our panelists to name some of their favorite moments over the years. Here are just a few.
Peter Gross nominated this What the Listener game from 2015, which didn't only feature young Tom Bodett and Amy Dickinson. It was about them.
Katie, it's nice to have you with us. You're going to play the game in which you must try to tell truth from fiction. We have a special one for you today. Bill, what is the topic?
Do quit your day job.
All right. We pay our panelists untold amounts of money to be on our show. But strangely, they do have other jobs. Tom, as you know, does radio ads for Motel 6. Peter Gross does ads himself for Sonic Burgers. Amy, of course, is the Amy behind the Ask Amy advice column. Well, this very week, one mistake that they made, one of them made, in their day job, made the news. We're going to ask each of our panelists to tell the story on themselves, but only one of them is telling the truth. Your job, pick the panelist who, in fact, made a boo-boo in their other gig. Are you ready to do that?
I am so ready.
All right. First up, let's hear from Peter Gross.
For those of you who don't own a TV or live in the South or go to sports bars where you're talking to friends and my face suddenly appears in the background, I should tell you I've been in a series of Sonic commercials for Sonic Drive-In that have been playing every 15 minutes on every channel for the last 20 years. I'm the guy in the driver's seat, but you may have noticed that we never actually drive anywhere. We're like two characters in a Beckett play about hamburgers. This has been to my advantage over the years because I cannot drive. I grew up in New York, I went to college, and I lived in Chicago for 15 years. I live in New York now, and so I just never learned how to drive. This hadn't been an issue until this week when the good people from Sonic came up with an idea for
described the whole mess, quote, "It's tearing me apart." I ran his letter in my column, and I gave him pretty good advice, I thought. Turns out I was pranked by someone describing the basic plot to the cult movie The Room, a movie famous for being the worst movie ever made. And about 10,000 people have enjoyed letting me know that I got trolled. Like a commentator on the AV Club website who wrote, "You'd think with all of her appearances on Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, she'd be hip to the joke." I'm looking forward to it blowing over, though, so I can get back to helping real people. Like that girl who can't pick between her vampire boyfriend and her best friend, the werewolf. I'm looking forward to that.
Amy gives advice to the protagonist of the worst movie ever made,
Go
The
straight
Room. Your last tale of professional misconduct comes from Tom Bodette.
When Wendy O'Connell marched into her darkened Motel 6 room in Columbus, Ohio, tripped over the desk chair and broke her wrist, her first thought was, of course, "I'm going to sue Tom Bodette for not leaving the light on." The following is a portion of the court transcript of my testimony last Tuesday before the Franklin County Board of Pleas, Judge David Blistein presiding. Plaintiff's attorney Richard Parra, have you or have you not promised to leave the light on at all your properties? Tom Bodette, me. It's more of a sentiment than a promise. Mr. Parra, do you or do you not identify yourself and Motel 6, then say, "We'll leave the light on for you"? Me, I do. Mr. Parra, are you lying when you say it? Me, it means we're expecting you. It's figurative. Mr. Parra, Ms. O'Connell's pain and suffering is anything but figurative. I understand the tagline, "We'll leave the light on for you," was your invention. Is this true? Me, sort of. It's something my mother used to say. Mr. Parra, you're blaming this on your mother? Me, would it help if I did? She's dead. Mr. Parra, may the court please note Mr. Bodette's willingness to throw his own mother under the bus to save himself. Me, she died of emphysema. Where did the bus come from? Mr. Parra, it's figurative. Judge Blistein. Judge Blistein, you seem a lot smarter on the radio, and I've heard enough. The court rules in favor of the plaintiff. So unless we prevail on appeal, come January 1st, all commercials for Motel 6 will conclude, "I'm Tom Bodette, and we'll leave the light on for you. Illumination in individual rooms may vary. Use caution when entering, and don't believe every stupid thing you hear on the radio."
So, these are your three choices. Peter Gross does commercials for Sonic. Did he, in fact, hop into the car, start it, and actually drive through the drive-thru? From Amy Dickinson, who gives advice, did she give advice to a fictional character, specifically the protagonist of The Room, the cult classic, terrible movie? Or from Tom Bodette, did somebody sue him and his company, Motel 6, for not, in fact, leaving the light on?
Well, you know, Peter, I'm going to have to go with A.
You're going to have to go with Peter Gross's story of how he, filming a Sonic commercial, as he actually does, you've seen them, got in the car,
Goes straight
it,
on.
drove it right into the wall of the restaurant. Is that your choice?
Yeah.
Okay, now, usually we bring you recorded testimony proving which story is true. Well, this time we don't have to do that because we have everybody right here. So, Peter Gross.
Yes.
Did you, in fact, this week, while filming a Sonic commercial, drive the Sonic commercial car into the wall of the Sonic drive-in?
I did not.
left.
Oh!
I'm sorry, you are incorrect. The correct answer was the story given
Turn
to you
left.
by Amy Dickinson.
That is, in fact, the case. Sadly, I am afraid you did not win our prize because Peter fooled you with his very realistic story.
And I'm like a double loser.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Triple, you might lose at the end of the show, too.
It's never...
This could be the beginning of a really awful spiral.
And Roy Blunt Jr., one of our original panelists, nominated this segment from way back in 2002, featuring our beloved original judge and scorekeeper, Carl Castle.
You give me fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight. Fever through the daytime, I get a fever all through the night. You give me fever.
Oh, we finally found Carl's Achilles heel.
I beg your pardon.
I thought Carl could do anybody.
If you love high-quality music programming on your public radio station, if you donate now, then maybe they'll put some on after our show. Here's how to give.
That number is 888-909-0887, or visit our website, houstonpublicmedia.org/donate. You're listening to News 88.7. I'm Christoph Ratliff, Member Relations Specialist. We're in a fundraising campaign to make sure Houston Public Media stays financially strong. A financially strong Houston Public Media means shows like Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, ICU with Eddie Robinson, and Houston Matters with Craig Cohen will remain free and accessible to our entire community. A group of Studio Society members have come together to provide a special challenge to inspire you to donate and expand the impact of your giving. You can donate online at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate. How does it work? Here's Camille Nelson, Member Relations Specialist.
Matching challenges truly show how our members' generosity can make a huge difference in our community. A contribution in any amount makes a difference. If you wait for shows like ICU on weekends, this is your chance to fund them, because there is a dollar-for-dollar match in effect the entire weekend. A special group of Studio Society donors has generously pledged to match your donations this weekend, dollar for dollar. Don't miss out on this opportunity to double the impact of your donation. And we are hoping you will call or text or go online while it's in effect. You'll help us unlock those dollars and put them to work serving the community. Call or text 888-909-0887 or give online at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate.
When you give, you'll support not just over-the-air radio, podcasts that our community can listen to at any time, anywhere. We have several Houston
finally able to talk to another idol of my youth, Carol Burnett. And when I did, she told us a story about one of her idols, Lucille Ball. Well, Carol, we read that Lucille Ball was this mentor of yours early on. What advice did she give you?
She was 22 years older than I, so she called me kid. Okay. And so one time she was on my show, and we were having dinner before the orchestra rehearsal one Thursday night at the farmer's market. She was knocking back a couple of whiskey sours, and she said, you know, kid, it's really great that you have Joe, who I was married to, Joe Hamilton, who was our producer. She said, it's great you have Joe and all of this. She said, when I was married to the Cuban, she said, you know, Desi did everything. All I had to do, he did, you know, he worked on the scripts, he worked on the lighting, he worked on it, and he was very, very smart. And she said, so all I had to do on a Monday for the week was come in and be Lucy. And then they got a divorce. So now she was going to do some subsequent shows, like the Lucy show, the Lucille Ball show, and so forth and so on. And so there she was. You know, Desi wasn't there. And they were having a reading, the table reading on the Monday. And she said, it was terrible. It stunk. And where was Desi? Where was it? And now I've got to confront. And then she realized she had to be strong. So she told everybody, the writers and everything, in no uncertain terms, what she thought of that week's script. And she looked at me and she said, kid, that's when they put the S on the end of my last name.
Sometimes I think about how we have been doing this show for 25 years, and it seems impossible. And actually it is, or it would have been if it weren't for you. Let me let you in on a little secret about public radio. Because we don't have advertisers, we don't worry that much about ratings, and that's great. It means we can give things time to develop and find an audience. But eventually, we have to find an audience. And it's only because you all decided to listen. We are still here. In fact, one of my greatest pleasures is meeting people at our show who tell me they listened as children with their parents, and now they want their parents to see us. There's a gesture of gratitude. Venge. People thank us for providing this show with something to share. Really, the gratitude goes the other way. It's only because of all of you that we are able to do. Your support is important. Noticed, and it's what allows us to keep going. Hopefully, until those kids who are listening to our show can get dragged back to see us by their children. So again, thank you all so much for your support in the past and your support today. Here's how to donate.
Visit our website at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate or call or text 888-909-0887. Thanks for listening to News 88.7. I'm Christoph Ratliff, Member Relations Specialist. Houston Public Media programming is powered by our members. Support shows like ICU with Eddie Robinson and Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me with Peter Sagal. Your favorite shows will not be able to stay on the air without funding. That's why matching is so important. They inspire people to give. This weekend is special because there is a dollar-for-dollar match in effect in support of your favorite NPR weekend program. You can donate online at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate. Make sure to select mock tickets as your thank you gift.
Okay, NPR News Quiz fans.
Thank you.
I got you. If you give $100 today in support of storytelling and journalism, it will be matched dollar for dollar by our Studio Society members. $100 from you plus $100 from them equals $200 worth of impact. Double the impact. I'm thankful that wasn't as hard as those trivia questions on Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. Call or text 888-909-0887 or give online at houstonpublicmedia.org/donate to take action during this match.
time on air and commentary on current events. May 3rd at the Wortham Cullen Theater. Tickets at performingartshouston.org. And Alley Theater presenting Jane Eyre, the classic novel by Charlotte Bronte, comes to life on stage April 12th through May 5th. Tickets are now available at alleytheater.org. This is News 88.7. I'm Brenda Valdivia. There's a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mainly after 1 o'clock today. High around 81 degrees with some cloudy skies as well. Tonight's low around 59 degrees as those thunderstorms continue. Around 60% late tonight into tomorrow morning. 30% chance of storms tomorrow as well before they start to clear up into sunny skies and cooler temperatures by Monday. It's currently 79 and overcast here at the University of Houston. This is your NPR station, KUHF Houston News 88.7, a service of the University of Houston. This American Life is coming up. It's now 11 a.m.
Paul's a cop in New York. Paul Bacon. Officer Bacon. No Jones, please. And one night, he did his regular 4 to midnight shift. And then he was told that they needed him to cover a second shift in another part of the city, in a little security booth, an area they were protecting from terrorists, basically. At 2 a.m., the other officer who's working in this booth with him takes a lunch break, goes and takes a nap. And then at 3 a.m., it's Paul's turn for a break. He's exhausted. Remember, he had already worked a full shift as a patrolman. And he decides that he's also going to take a nap. So he gets into his patrol car and he drives it out into this parking lot, a little ways away from the security booth.
I parked my car in the one available spot, thinking, this is a parking lot. Nobody's going to be coming by here. It's going to be fine. And so I turned off the ignition and just sat there. And I realized I don't think I'm going to be able to fall asleep sitting up. So I got out of the driver's seat, got back, and closed the door. And I was asleep within seconds. I had set my alarm watch to go off so that I would get up in plenty of time to go back on post so my partner wouldn't worry where I was and everything would be fine, it would be smooth. But I woke up a few seconds before my alarm with this terrible realization, which is that I was locked in the back. I was like, I'm trapped. That was my first thought. Because you don't get out of the back of a police car. The back of the police car is for prisoners.
And I never really thought about it, that a police car is really just like a rolling jail cell.
That's exactly right. And also, it's hermetically sealed. Remember, it was very cold that night. It was February, and I had closed the grating to the front, and the windows were up, so it was really, you could just feel there was less oxygen in the air, and also all the windows were all fogged up, so I could barely see out, and I started to panic. I reached for both of the door handles, neither of them worked, and so I rolled over on my side and I pounded against the door as hard as I could with both my feet, and there's just no way out of this car.
It's dark, it's cold, but he's only 60 feet away from the security booth where his partner is, and he's right next to a sidewalk. All he needs is for somebody to see him, come over, and lift the door handle from the outside. And he gets lucky. A Pepsi truck parks right on the street right in front of him. He waves frantically at the driver, pounds on the glass. He can see the driver peering in at him. And then the driver flees. He flees. Who is going to help some maniac trapped in the back of a police car?
My next thought was, well, maybe somebody else will come by. And so I wrote, in the steam on the window, I wrote the word help. And I did it backwards. But then I got to thinking, well, that's not going to be any more convincing. So I wrote underneath help, I wrote,
Go
I'm
straight on.
But unfortunately, nobody came by to read my message.
His police radio is in the front seat, out of reach.
Keep left, and then
3 in the morning,
left.
exhausted, panic. It takes him 25 minutes to remember that he is carrying a cell phone.
Turn left.
A cell phone he says he almost never uses. But here's the problem. He's working with an officer that he's never met before, in a place he's never been before. He has no idea what the phone number is in that little booth just 60 feet away from his parked car. That little booth where right now his partner is expecting him back on post, wondering where he is. His first great idea of the night was to take a nap. Now he had a second great idea.
I did what I thought I would never have to do ever in my life, and that is to call 911 as a cop. When the operator came on very shortly, she said, "Well, don't worry, we'll put this through to your central dispatcher." And she was about to get off the phone with me, and I said, "Well, wait, there's this very, very important thing to tell the dispatcher, and that is that this needs to go over the radio as a non-emergency. Because anytime that a cop requests help, and it's not qualified in any way, it sends out the cavalry. Everybody drops everything they're doing and comes very quickly to that location. And that's a dangerous situation. And all because I made this stupid mistake. So I said, please make sure that you specify it's a non-emergency." I swear, within a minute, lights and sirens coming from all directions.
Now, part of the chaos is coming from the fact that Paul wasn't really exactly sure where he was. Remember, this is not his regular precinct, so cops are zooming around just trying to find him. But this seems like way too much commotion, even for that. Something has gone very, very wrong. Left. So Paul dials 911 again. They tell him that his call had gone out. It's a 1013.
Turn left.
1013. Officer down.
Like as if a cop was being beaten or had just been shot. And that's why everybody was going all over the place. My call had basically woken up the entire midnight squad. You know, probably half that squad was also sleeping. And now I had gotten everybody's blood going. So my partner up in the booth finally got up and started walking down into the parking lot. And I saw him coming, and I took my flashlight off my belt, and I'm shaking my flashlight. I'm real like crazy, just to show him that this is not a headlight of some car. This is a person being very creative and very emphatic about letting you know that this is somebody stuck. And he sees me from about 50 yards away, and he takes his flashlight off and jingles it back at me, and he starts to walk away. He's just thinking I'm having a good time, you know. Like, yeah, haha. He was walking away, so I had to rap really hard on my window again, and I rapped so hard that I cut my knuckles. But he got the point, and he came down to my car, just lifted the door handle. It took him 2 seconds to let me out.
So he's free, and they call off the cavalry.
Finally.
Nobody in his regular precinct ever found out about it. Today on our radio show, we bring you stories like this one. Stories that begin with a bright idea, like, for instance, you're going to park your car 60 feet from your partner and climb in and take a nap. And then things happen. More than you bargained for. More than you wanted. From WBEZ Chicago, it's This American Life. I'm Ira Glass. Each week we bring you a bunch of stories organized around a single thought. And this week that thought is, it seemed like a good idea at the time. Our show in 4 acts today, each of which starts off with great hope and a shiny new idea.
road.
So let's get back on the road. There it goes. Out because it's the trailer. So I finally fixed it. So, back here, discovered the sheriff and call out Frank and stop that. So, look at the here, somewhere,
keep right,
in
and then continue straight on.
So let's keep the dude driving.
Go straight on.
And we'll go from there.
Keep left, and then turn left. Turn left. Turn left. turn left.